here we are at the end of the thrips line. I have not checked these plants since before the snow, which was over the weekend. We're now on Monday. Technically, I think Friday was the last time I checked these plants, and I did find them. But I went ahead, I washed it down. They were very small, like the baby instar thrips that looked like they had just spawned. I have checked every one of my plants really well because I had to group them all together for the snow, and I'll do a video on that later. But guys, I can't find any. I went ahead and I rinsed everything down. I'm gonna go ahead and clean everything really well. I'm doing a water change today, but I want to show you basically where we're at with each of the leaves and stuff like that. I'm actually going to take it over to where there's a little more light, and it's just a little less. I mean, this is a kitchen sink, and I haven't had time to clean it this morning prior to doing everything. I had other things to clean first, so yeah, that's why we're going to be filming in a different location. But what I've done is I've taken that the alcohol peroxide Dawn dish soap spray, and I went ahead and I sprayed down the container that it's in. I'm going to go ahead and rip the tape off. There are no plants out here outside of cut flowers. Everything else is back in the other rooms, so I'm not too concerned. I'm also not putting these in soil until I have an absolute guarantee that there are no more thrips. So this is going to mark day one of a new 14-day cycle at this point. I know I said last time in one of the other videos, could be like 50 days or more. But what you want to do is count from the last time you see thrips. Count through an entire egg cycle. If it survives up to that point, we are probably going to end up transferring these into soil because they will have established good enough roots at that point, and will continue to root in soil instead of in water. I have reasons for that, but we'll go over that as well. I did end up chopping quite a few roots back, and I did put cinnamon on them, so if anything looks a little weird in the video, that is why. And I should also say that for the newest leaf on the smallest cutting, all of the damage that's there, that is my fault. I was not careful enough because the leaf had not hardened off yet. So it is all physical damage for the most part, and my doing. The only thing that wasn't my doing is the areas where it's like crisped and blackened. But otherwise, like, I'm the one who ripped the leaf. Was not the thrips. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up that curtain over there, and then we will go ahead and film each one of them, and I'll go over different various things that I think definitely deserve to be pointed out, and what I'm going to do to finish prepping the bin and stuff. And then I'm going to clear a spot where it gets much more sun, and I'm just going to lay some tulle over that, but we'll go over that as well in just a moment. So the first thing being first, we have this golden pothos. I've rinsed it off. I've trimmed some of the roots back because we were showing signs of some rot. I'm not surprised. It's an oxygen deprived chamber that it was sitting in. That is just some mechanical damage from being shoved down into the glass. I'm now going to take this and put it into a separate glass, but keep it with the Monstera cuttings. But otherwise it looks good and thrip free. It always has looked thrip free though, so, but I keep it with it because it was in with the cuttings that I was trying to get to establish better roots, and yeah, there's that. So he's looking pretty good, all things considered. This is the next one, the smaller of the two cuttings. I trimmed about 3 inches off of this longest root right here, and I went ahead and threw some cinnamon on it. I trimmed that back root as well, and then I trimmed some of the secondary roots off as well. Not too concerned about it because we do have, I don't know why the camera won't focus, we do have this new growth coming in, as well as down there on this larger root, we do have new secondary growth coming in, so not too concerned. I'm hoping that we get to keep it because, let's see if I could find it on here and show you guys. There's a node further down. I don't know if you guys can see. There's a growth node, growth point right there between those two roots. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to propagate that as well and get another, well, essentially cutting. I have a feeling we're going to lose both of these leaves, but that's fine. I would only cut back towards the top, and hopefully we can activate some more growth points, and get, get some progress with this finally. I just feel really bad about what happened to this leaf. I did not mean to do any of that, but yeah, don't take a lint roller to a new leaf. Lessons learned. Okay, and here we have this chunky, larger cutting. That root that I broke that was coming in, it's, you know, not done anything. It's not rotted anymore, but we're at least getting secondary roots on this one, so it's okay. It'll be fine. We do have another leaf. Again, if I can get this camera to focus. I feel like if I aim it down, maybe. So yeah, we do have that next leaf coming in. It's not looking too hot, but it is what it is. And then, as you can see, this oldest leaf is yellowing off. I'm not going to remove it from the plant. It's not sucking up any nutrients. What it's doing is it's sending its mobile nutrients down into this to help promote growth. So I'm going to let it continue until it falls off on its own. And at that point, I'll trim the stem back and everything else. And we'll see if there's another growth point somewhere in there that might activate. We'll see. I doubt it, but we shall see. So there's that. Kind of hoping I get another aerial root node soon. That way I can get some new roots growing. I will probably end up planting both of those in the exact same container. I'm pretty sure both of them came from, well, maybe two different plants. I think these were top cuttings from both of her plants. I could be wrong, but anyways, there's that. Yeah, I mean, it looks like we're on the better end of things now, and we'll start growing and repairing ourselves. And now I'm going to very carefully go put this back down and clean out the bin, and then I'm going to do a water change. I'll let these leaves dry and let the stem where I basically cut and cauterized it, I'm gonna let that the tip on that smaller one dry out just a little bit more. Might put a little more cinnamon on this larger cutting as well. Just make sure those ends are really like cinnamoned up. You want the cinnamon to kind of like cake over. At this point, I'm hoping we are in the clear and I can start trimming back damage just for aesthetics purposes, and really, once I can, get them into pots, into my potting soil mixes, and get some rooting hormone, really start getting them dosed up with good fertilizer and nutrients and stuff like that. One of the problems with growing in water is water doesn't have nutrients, so you have to add liquid nutrients. I do honestly attribute their survival to one of our local growers and plant sellers. Her fertilizer. I really do believe if it wasn't for her fertilizer, these probably wouldn't have made it through. But I used hers, and then I used silica spray. So that's another thing I'm going to do. I'm going to dose the water. I'm going to really cut back on how much water there is, and I'm going to start doing water changes the same way I would if I was propagating a plant. And I'm going to do them a lot more frequently. I'm not as worried about rooting hormones anymore as I am just getting this thing like the nutrients it needs. So I'm going to dose it with fertilizer. In the water, I'm also going to dose it with a leaf spray of silica, and then I'm going to be doing those water changes once a week at a bare minimum, and I will update you guys every time I do a water change on them, even if it's just a quick glance at them without me talking or something. But here's to hope. I will definitely make another video at that 14-day mark, but it starts this Monday. So hopefully, today's the 13th, so if we can make it to the 27th, there will be another longer form video where I then go over what we're going to do. I'll really evaluate them, but they'll probably go into a terracotta pot that I have in the back room. It's a very small terracotta pot. I will probably end up stabilizing it inside of one of my larger pots. We'll see. But I know it's definitely going to need something. Until then, I wish you all well. I did tally up the polls, and I will post in the communities section what the results for those polls were and what order we're going to talk about the philodendron in. And I actually think I'm going to spread it out over a 2-week period because I could do quite a bit on each of them. So I might do like a long form and then a few short form. And then I will have my new polls up tonight, no later than 10 p.m. Central Time. So until then, and the next video, do good, be good, and when you feel.